Welcome into the Tuesday call, our drop sugar, drop fat for good. Glad that you're here. And we're going to talk about something that is, I've heard two people within the 24 hours talking to me about how they've been eating and they still feel hungry. So they're still struggling with trying to connect with their whole foods. And also, what the main focus is along with that, what happens on the opposite side is that if you're starving, then sometimes we start reaching for the wrong foods and then we eat until we're sick full. And I'm calling it sick full because I was talking to a couple of clients and that's how they explained it. You know, like that feeling and they're holding their neck, like just that you are eating so much because maybe you're extra stressed, maybe you're used to having that really full feeling. So we're going to talk a lot about willpower today and some strategies to get you in that space. So welcome into the Tuesday call. So happy you're here. So we are definitely going to be talking about sick full, but what we're going to talk about actually is truly not specifically talking about that. So I'm going to tell you there's 3 points that we are going to do today to help build your daily strategy so that you stay in focus so this doesn't happen to you. All right, so we're going to be building your food plan. I'm going to really go in deep in one area, and I'm going to show you in a moment here why this is important, because you know what? Weight loss is all built on strategies. And how I've been able to get more and more successful in my business is learning how to build specific strategies in people's days. So we're going to talk about that today because this is ultra specific and ultra massively important. Whatever the word I want to use, it's important. Welcome in. My name is Rhonda Liebig. I'm a holistic health coach, and I'm known as a coach that has real insightful solutions. And my main focus is blood sugar results, really getting the blood sugar balance, because once you start getting that blood sugar balance, that's it. That is it. That's the key, because that's when your cravings are going to stop swaying back and forth and making you feel crazy. So that's what I focus in on. I'm an author of the Fit Solution, 4 Steps to a Sexy, Successful, Authentic You. So it's all about results. Also, I have some online programs that I guide people. I have one-on-one programs. I'm a professional speaker, been out there and doing stuff to get to as many people as possible, because let's teach each other how easy this is. We get so stressed in our lives that it feels so complicated until you start realizing everything's built on a formula and a mindset. And the hardest part is breaking out of the shell of the past habits. So welcome in. You know, actually, I want to tell you a story before I move on. I was thinking about this today of what I wanted to say, because I'm going to share with you a client of mine. She's a case study. But I want to tell you something about myself. I want to divulge something that is really hard to talk about because, you know, I go out there and I coach and I talk about willpower and I talk about that you should be doing this and that. And let's just be authentic and open for a moment and talk about, you know, what our issues are personally. And I think I need to divulge some stuff of why I'm in this area today talking about this. Like, what kind of experience do I have with eating till I'm painfully full, with not having any strategies and feeling like I'm lost? And, you know, and coming out of that and coaching and teaching other people, I had to do my breakthroughs also. And so I think this is important so you can connect with why you even want to be here with me today. So before I knew I had any things going on with my body, if you may know, I've had bouts of hypothyroidism based on quite a few things of how I was living my lifestyle, to really not speaking. When I was stressed, I would not really speak about it. I would just suck it in. And I really held a lot of that stress within my body, and it really wore my body out because pretty much I was mad all the time. You know how easy it is to be mad at somebody, especially if you don't talk about it. Then that's the easiest time to be mad at somebody, because they can do one thing wrong and then all of a sudden you just don't like them. So I was a lot like that. And with that personality and attitude, I had to come up with the situation that, you know, if I keep doing this, I'm going to keep making myself sicker. But what I was doing is I was running myself down, and I was eating tons and tons and tons of sugar, and that's all I would eat. There was one time when I was living alone, so of course a lot of quiet time after you're done working and doing your stuff. I would go to the store and I'd buy tons of stuff that was just not good for me. And that would probably be the only time I ate that day, because of course I was trying to restrict myself from eating, and then all of a sudden I was going crazy because I didn't have any strategies. So instead of being starving like I was at the end of the day because I didn't eat, I just went crazy, and I would buy a thing of I loved Chips Ahoy and stuff like that, and because I just love chocolate chip cookies, and that is definitely another story for something else. But I would eat the whole container of cookies, or I would eat until I was sick, and I wouldn't stop if emotionally I was still feeling stressed. So when you start on this journey that I'm going to talk about today, I want you to know that I got your back on this one. I've experienced this. You know what the hardest part is? Is starting to really connect with how your belly is going to feel lighter inside when you start eating foods like this. And how is your mind going to accept that, because you're so used to eating through stress? Most of us are stress eaters or celebration eaters, and we're celebrating something so we want to eat. We're stressed, so we're going to eat till we're sick. And it took me a while. And you know what my first thing was trying to get my emotional balance. So every Tuesday, we talk about just getting your emotional balance for the day, so that you can slowly start implementing it every day. The strategies that I teach, I don't believe that everybody's going to implement them 100%. I believe that some people may implement 10% all the way to 100%. And see that big variation of what I'm expecting, because it depends on where you're at. But the information you're going to learn today is really good stuff, because just take a bit of what you really hone in. Is that something that you can add right now? Don't try to change your whole world right away. And if you do that, that means you're fully inspired and it's okay for right now. But you have to think about and be realistic about how you're going to keep maintaining up that lifestyle if you really haven't built it in slowly. So I want you to be aware of the pitfalls that can happen if you try and implement this 100%. But let's just say what I'm going to teach you today is close to what you're doing. Then this is just going to get you right back into the game. But today can also be the point where you start getting in the game, the healthy lifestyle game. We're building a lifestyle where you feel happier, relaxed, and that you feel that you can eat and not be afraid of food. So that's our goal today. So welcome in. Make sure that you have any of the internet stuff closed down. Half an hour ago, my whole internet was down. So I had to call my internet guy and say, okay, Keith, what is going on with the internet? I have a call in a half an hour and this is not good. So let's just make sure everything is just off and down except this. I'd love for you to have a pen and piece of paper, because I want you to actively journal. The more that you journal, the more you can look at, the quicker this is going to happen. I want to make sure you stay away from that butterfly effect where your eyes go somewhere else and all of a sudden you're over here and then you're over there. So just stick with the slides, take some notes, get yourself motivated, get yourself moving, and get it going along. So what is this all about? We're going to talk about how to eat and still be full. How can you eat the vegetables and still be full? Already within 24 hours, I said I've talked to 2 people that both ways, where they're hungry, so they go extreme the other side. Also, I'm going to talk about my ultra-specific strategy that I implement every time that I fall off the wagon. So let's say you have a weekend of stuff. Well, and it's not everything good, that most of it is bad. Then I want you to be easier on yourself and say, oh, crud, I totally screwed up. Now I just totally messed up my whole plan. Oh my gosh, in our story, I want you to catch yourself there and think about what you're doing to yourself. And the biggest thing I can tell you is that that's a space of tearing yourself down. So we want to build, build, build. If you find yourself doing that, try and catch yourself and listen to what you're doing, because you don't want to dig yourself deep into the ground. You want to stop yourself, take a breath, and say, hey, What's my next step? So I'm going to talk about basic lifestyle success is built on a basic formula. So I'm going to be sharing that with you, and I'm going to show it twice. One in just a kind of at the top level, and then to go in deeper for you. So then you can really grasp it, and then I'll give you some information, and then we're going to go into how much detail you really need so you can be successful at this. So let's be inspired today. Roll your shoulders back, take a nice big inhale. Now, if you have anything you want to say, I'm going to keep that chat box open for you, but I'm going to keep on going, and I'll start implementing anything. If anybody has anything about a story that they have, like a couple lines of a breakthrough, I'll definitely thread it through with what we're learning. But I just want to hear from you, and the more active that you are, the better that you will be able to stay focused. All right, so you don't have to be great when you get started, but you have to get started to be great. So what did I say? Implement 10%, implement 100%, whatever works for you. But think about where you are right now, self-evaluate, and then implement. Go ahead and implement whatever I teach you today. Okay, so the first thing is that I want you to just look at this. We're going to go in. It might not mean much to you now because it's just a list. I mean, you can go on Google and do any list, and it just basically gives you a list. But Dr. Furman is one of the teachers when I was going to health coaching school, and you may know him just from the media circuit. He's a doctor. He's incredible. He talks about sugar. Hey, that's my area also, so this is perfect. Just giving you a snapshot here. We're going to move on. I'm going to bring this slide up again, but just kind of get your eyes based on some things that you really should be implementing on the left side. Right side, you want to steer away from, of course, as you know. Once you start looking, you go, oh, yeah. Do this formula right here. P plus 3V plus 1W plus B equals, I put detox success because, we always want to detox and cleanse the body. Okay, so again, just kind of looking at this formula. It doesn't mean much to you, but I'm going to tell you how to implement it. Kind of get your eyes set for this. So we're connecting you today. When you are in a community, you don't feel alone in this process. And I was talking to Michaela. I'm going to talk more about her in a moment. But I was talking with her this morning because she's been a case study for a year now. And we were discussing, kind of the faults that she had when she first started and how she felt like she's kind of in a silo. We have a lot of stuff that we struggle with because we keep it inside, and our mind is crazy. It'll keep doing stuff in vicious circles time and time again. And when you start hearing, someone like me speaking about this stuff, you realize, crud, I'm not crazy. This is great to be part of a community. Each week I get to speak that, something that is holding me back. So I definitely want to make sure that you're giving me any notes today if you have anything that you want to get help on breakthroughs of. And you feel alone in this process because we're so used to feeding our emotions that when we do that, it really just tears us up inside. We have two sides of our brain. One that says, you should be doing this, 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 and that. Just the structure, you should be doing this, 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 and that. We have all that information. We're information society. Go to Google. It tells you exactly what you need to be doing. We have the other side that's emotional, that we are struggling with day in, day out. We're exhausted. We're eating too much sugar. We don't understand any kind of formula that we need to be following. And once we start doing a formula, it starts breaking away stuff and old patterns. It starts bringing everything together. And so you have more energy because it aligns everything. So you stop feeling so lonely because you realize that you're not eating through your emotions. When you first start off, it's crazy hard. So I got your back here. I'm just understanding that. I also want to make sure that you're not waking up through the night. Oh my gosh, it says walking just like last week. Sorry. I want you to connect with any kind of pains that you're having. Any kind of pains you're having. Throughout the discussion, I want you to breathe and I want you to relax, but I want that pen really working. And I want you to think about, what is your story? Who are you in this space, what we're talking about? With your food and, your ahas that you're going to be having today, and the willpower that you have, and really understanding that willpower is just a resource, and it's very, very limited. And at this space and time, you may not have a lot of willpower. And as you start building and really being aware and thinking cleaner, you'll start realizing certain times of your day you have higher willpower. As the day goes on, it starts decreasing. So what I'm going to share with you today are ways that you can build within your food and your lifestyle to keep the willpower strong through the day. Any bout that we feel exhausted, bam, we're going to fall into something we don't want to, or we're going to start saying negative stuff about ourselves. So keep listening. So your first step to burning fat, this whole thing about, that we have fat in certain parts of our area and we can't get rid of it and all this kind of stuff. Well, when you start learning deeper about just the cycles of energy through your body and where you may be stuck and all those things that happen, it really comes down to the 3 pillars, which is what you're eating, what you're thinking, and if you are getting out there and moving. Moving can be from walking to getting into the gym to watching videos, whatever it is, and doing your workout. It doesn't matter. Just get your body moving. All right, so know what you should be eating is the first step. Like, what does that mean? What should you be eating? Well, we all know healthy food is healthy. I showed you the grid of Dr. Furman. So let's get back into it. Know what you should be eating. So take some notes here. Take a picture if you need to with your phone. I want you to get a lot out of this. Okay, so leafy green vegetables have iron in it. The green is energy. It's good for the heart. It clears up, and it really brings you into alkaline. So if you're acidic, which most people are, I want you to learn that as you start changing the 3 pillars, then your body becomes more in alignment, and you become more in the space of alkaline. Cruciferous vegetables, the next one. This is so important. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, all this is important. You know why those are important? Those are well documented, researched, known for combating cancer. So I know most of my clients are afraid of cancer. When they first come in, the question is, what are you fearful of? And I hear different stories, and a lot of it has to do with cancer. I'm afraid of cancer. Start eating like this. Start working with those 3 pillars, bringing everything into alignment, and you will feel excellent. You feel like, oh, I got this. I'm not afraid anymore. I know that there's more control out there with some things I need to change. You want to do your berries, because berries is a high antioxidant, vitamin C to help you keep healthy, beans for fiber, and you're going to go with mushrooms, because mushrooms is a really, really good one for combating cancer. Onions, another top 3 of fighting cancer. So, okay, so if it's there to fight cancer, what does that mean? That's our ultimate scariest thing that can happen to us. I think there's other things too, but I mean, if that was like your top list, wouldn't cancer be on there? Okay, so all this stuff is clean protein. You have your nuts and seeds, tomatoes, which is excellent for getting the body in the blood sugar balance. Pomegranates, which is great. That's a very high antioxidant, and you get some great fiber from that too. So look at this list, take a picture, screen save it, whatever you need to do. And I want you to take notes on this. This should be part of your plate every single day. Now, you don't have to have exactly kale, cauliflower, collard greens, Brussels sprouts, berries, and all that kind of stuff. But I want you into alignment, and I'll give you the formula again of what your plate should look like. But this gives you the specific master grocery list that you should have. And when you work with me, you actually learn specifically what you should be having right away and how to balance your blood sugar and stuff like that. But at a snapshot, I'd say if you grabbed a couple of these vegetables and added it in, and you did more than what you did before you got on this call, that's a score. So you know what I'm saying? Like 10 or all the way 100% implementation. Where are you today? Also, you want to be aware of how much fiber you should be having. So 35 to 40 grams of fiber, but how does that break that down? Now, I brought this up last week, but I want to break this down because I had a discussion with a woman named Deanna. I have tons of discussions with people. It's so much fun having this business and people just talking about, where they are in their health and what they're trying to do to do some strategies here. And she told me, Deanna said, well, I will not eat a vegetable really. And she has thyroid stuff. And I was like, really? And she said, yeah, I ate tons and tons of vegetables, probably what you're saying, like 35 to 40 grams of fiber, and my belly just bloated. And so here's the next slide. the form of the fiber strategy here. Okay, so think about, say on average, I think a lot of us probably get 10 grams of fiber. I shouldn't say a lot of us because I am always in the alkaline area. So my body really isn't very acidic because I've learned these strategies. So I want you to think about this. I'm giving you some strategies here today, and I want you to think about this. You are going to get where you want to get to, but it takes practice. And every day, try and implement something that's working for you consistently for that week. And then week over week, month over month, and it builds bigger and bigger. Keep connecting with why this stuff is important. So here's your fiber breakdown. If you're only doing 10 grams of fiber, I want you to track it, and I want to see what your 15 grams of fiber is for right now. So if you right now don't even know you're at 10 grams, I want you to document, and I want you to get into the 15 grams of fiber so that your belly doesn't bloat. Don't jump all the way to 35 to 40. If you're at 15 grams, increment to 20. If you have 20 grams of fiber and you've been eating quite a bit of vegetables, but you're only about 20 grams, I want you at 25. If you are at 25, jump into 35 or 40. Your body's ready to break down has the enzymes to break things down, dissolve, use that fiber the way it needs to. Sometimes you have to put your body through a training period, and that's where it goes in with this grid right here. So take a look, and I'm going to move on. Okay, so eat vegetables and be full. Well, how the heck do you do that? First off, I'm going to go right back here, use your grid, implement what you are going to be doing. Then I'm going to show you how to build your day with a food formula. Now, this food formula may only work for one day. For one meal. And then you can slowly start building in with all the meals. So another thing is that you need to have this formula, and it's P plus 3V plus 1W plus B. And that's your food formula. I'm going to break that down for you so that is meaningful to you. Take a snapshot of that because that is important. Do that every meal, but bam, you are going to be doing crazy good. All right, so your plate should look like this. 1 protein, which is like the base of your hand here, like in your palm. 3 vegetables. Oh my gosh, 3 vegetables. I'm going to break it down even deeper so that you know what that looks like. 1 water, and guess what? Breathe. Isn't that crazy? Breathing is so important because if you are standing up and eating, or you're gulping, and then you're eating, well, you're not going to be able to digest your food unless you start doing the breathing and relaxing. That is your food formula. 1P plus 3V plus 1W plus B. Vegetables, water, protein, breathe. And now you don't just drink water during your meals because it's not going to give you enough, but have some water with your meal. Finish your meal up, then down a cup of water, 8 ounces of water. Great way to help digest the food. You know what? Another thing is add hot water after your meal, and that will help with your digestion. It'll help with some aches and pains through your body. It'll help the flow happen, all around your organs, all around your joints. That hot water is incredible for digestion. Okay, I'm coming right back here because I'm going to back up. This is your formula here. Let me show you the picture again. So if you were just looking at this, you could do a salad on here. You could do, broccoli and cauliflower together. You can do Brussels sprouts. It's endless. You can do mushrooms in your salad with some beans, whatever. See how you're mixing up your protein, getting your nuts in there, putting some seeds on vegetables, whatever. But you want to do this so that you are successful in this plate plan food formula. So eating wholesome foods daily is not a how-to secret. There's no secret to it. Did you see that formula? But the biggest thing is listening to your mindset and following the formula. So don't just go out there and buy the vegetables and then leave them in your fridge and never look at them. I can remember not wanting to open up my vegetable drawer because I would look at it and I go, oh my gosh, I should be opening that up. Oh, I bet you it's gone really bad. But I didn't want to open it up because I didn't want to face the fact that I may have let my vegetables go bad. And then I'd have to go and buy some more vegetables because every time I was in the store, I was gung-ho. So use the formula so it really works for you. But I'm going to go in more deep and I'm going to go into what your food should look like also. So it's not really secret. Think of it more as that you're just getting strategies here and use the formula and it works. Every successful lifestyle is built on a systematic formula. And look at this girl. She's like she has a secret. You know what the truth is? There is no secret. And you know what? All those diets out there, I'll just get rid of them. There's no reason to follow any diet. This is about you, what vegetables work for you, what strategies work for you, and you take those and you start building your personal lifestyle plan. Okay, so let me share you with a client. Her name's Michaela. She's a wonderful girl. She's been with me for a while to build this wonderful space that she has right now. And I want to tell you something about her, which is very special, and it's typical of all of us. All the wonderful stuff that I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you a little story about how she actually fell far and near away from the wagon after these results happened. So I'm going to give you Michaela's backstory. I'm going to give you results, and then I'm going to give you her second celebration. Because I want to be true and authentic with you that life is not perfect. And I know that you know that, but I'm not building this where you feel like for the rest of your life is going to be perfect and that you're never going to have stressors. But I want you to build the tools so that when you're ready to go back to it, because life throws throws you sideways, throws, hard bricks at you sometimes where you just get lost. But you come right back to these tools and you come right into alignment again. So Michaela came in, look at her on the right, and not feeling good. Even smiling, that's not even a really sweet smile. Her skin was not good. And you see how her hair does not look healthy at all. And she found this picture and she sent it to me, and she actually posted on social media. And she just said, Rhonda, look at this. If I didn't have this picture, I would not have had that aha moment of all the big stuff that we've done. See her on the left, at the point when she was celebrating, going, yes, finally. And she was taking tons of pictures of her, which is wonderful about selfies because it makes you realize how beautiful you are. So that is wonderful. So when Michaela first came in, she was eating fast food, drank soda every day, and she was not using a food formula at all, but she was using food as comfort. And she was stressed, and she has her own personal big stressors, which I understand her stressors. That's probably why she's done so good, is that she's connected with what her pains are. And it takes a while to do this because sometimes you know what you're struggling with, but you're not ready to deal with it. So today I have a question for you. Are you like Michaela was, but maybe you're still there in that state of mind where you know that you're struggling and you know what it is, but you're just not ready right now to write it all down. You want to be aware of it, but you just don't want to dig deep yet. So keep that with you today and embrace yourself that's okay. Because as time goes on, you get healed. But start using some of these formulas to help that healing process for you. So she also did not do any physical exercise. When she started doing exercise, when she started in the program, she actually had big, massive asthma attacks. It was very scary for her. If you ever had an asthma attack, it just feels like you're suffocating. She was not feeling very good about herself at all. Not at all. Sometimes we fall into that trap that we see ourselves in this physical exterior and we only see that that's us. But I want you to think about this. Our outsides represent what's happening on the inside. So if we're abusing our body and abusing food and not really stepping in to that power of what a good successful day is, because we're trying to figure that, that way to get in there, then you're going to start only noticing your outside of your body, but truly your outside of your body starts doing its formation and bringing everything together once you get your mind and your food together. She didn't have a good support system. She didn't really have a community. It was very hard for her. So everything is built in a formula, and here is an example. So this is Michaela's example of what is getting her into that space of being successful. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now we have a master grocery list with this also. And if you were here last week, I'm adding and bulking up things that we talked about last week, so we have a little bit more structure to how to be successful. Now you see here, you already have your vegetables, you have your fruits, you have good wholesome fiber, some good natural sugar, and then you'll have your yogurt, which if you have dairy, and this is really good, if not, extract out that yogurt. Chia seeds, you have your omega-3 through a vegetarian omega-3. Almond milk, so almond, you get your protein there. Also, the Maju Superfoods has spirulina in it, and so then you have actually tons of vegetables within this because you've added that also. If you don't have anything like that has spirulina in it, like anything special like that, Maju Superfoods is, you can get that on Amazon, but you can also do kale, spinach, and throw a carrot in there. So it's going to bring a little bit higher sugar with that carrot, but you can do something like that, and that will help it. Getting different colors and different things going on is really very important. Your lunch, you're going to do 3 mixed vegetables in your salad, and you're going to have your protein, and then you're going to have lettuce, so it helps with a little bit another vegetable in there. And you're going to prepare your tuna with yogurt. But before you have your lunch, what else is in the formula? Your cup of water and your breathing. Take a break during lunch. When I was as a CPA doing work all the time, I would work my butt off, just probably like how you do too. Work. Then I would eat lunch at my desk, and then I would just go crazy eating and working at the same time. And I wonder how much my food was being digested. Believe me, there's a lot of steps in there missed with your digestive plan, because your digestion is pretty complicated. And when you go, and you don't take the breathing space, it is not good for you. Dinner. Look at all these extra vegetables you can have. I usually do like a salad, and I also do some roasted vegetables. I'll sometimes even get some butter and saute some vegetables in butter, and then I'll put some, and then I go to ingredients like dill or cilantro. I love rosemary. And then you want to get that, remember that we were talking about how your body just gets so stuck in that feeling of wanting that weight in your belly. So sometimes I still find myself where I'm really, really stressed and I want something heavier than just the vegetables, or I'm trying to, sabotage myself for the day. How I get the heavier stuff is going to quinoa. I make sure I have some black rice, red rice. You have some, even brown rice. And I'll even add meat. Now, not every meal I have meat. And so I may just have nuts and seeds, but when you're trying to get heavy stuff, start going for the rices and the quinoa. Even doing couscous sometimes is okay, but don't do couscous a lot. But try and swap out that stuff from going to the breads with the gluten that throws off your hormones, all that stuff. You want to be careful. So you see that? This is your formula. I gave you the grid of what the formula looks like, and now we're talking specifically about what you need here. Now, I went into this last week, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but I want to give you a snapshot of why this is successful. You have your fiber, you have your calories that you want to be within that range. You have your sodium in check, you have your sugar in check with that meal, and here is your master grocery list. You got it all, bam, right there. And you're not going to be hungry. Your blood sugar is not going to bounce all over the place. And this is what I've been talking about with clients that I've been saying, I am hungry. I want to eat more. And I really know the biggest issue is that most people are not used to eating so many vegetables. But once you start cooking it right and really enjoying the taste, once your palate starts changing within your palate is your mouth, once that starts changing those taste buds, you are really going to connect. At the beginning, I talked about You may take 10% of what I taught you today, and I think it's a success. If you're already there, 75%, jump in 25%. But take the nuggets that I've given you today and implement it. Keep grabbing each Tuesday, grabbing more tools and new space. So let's finish this off. So through those 3 meals, Michaela got very, very successful, and she lost 19 pounds right here. Total inches, 11.25 inches, and her total body fat, 6%. Body fat is so hard to lose. Very, very proud of her. Portion control she learned. She did need to work on her sabotages. When you're not feeling good about yourself, when you're feeling lonely, what feels good is when you start working with a coach like me or a community that I've built so that you don't feel alone. You are not alone. She started working out more consistently, at least 3 times a week. Changing food choices was incredibly important because what was she doing? Everything that was inflaming her, the soda, the fast food, everything that was inflaming her. She learned how to make a commitment to herself. Now I want to hold you here for a moment. Before we do the dance. I want to hold you here for a moment. Now think about this. Now, just because Michaela was successful, do you think that she has been successful all the way through? Do you think that these are her stats, and then all of a sudden everything else was perfect? No. So what happened from this point is that she got really stressed. Things changed for the work that she was doing, to not being happy in life, knowing that she wanted to go back to school and finish that so that she could really start building her career even deeper. And so she gained some weight back. She never went back to that picture on the top left. So taking pictures of yourself are real important, and bringing that all together. And right now today, I saw her about 6:30 this morning because I start coaching pretty early. And we were discussing, where she is and what kind of steps she's taken these days. And she went right back to the tools. And right now, she's actually eating more vegetables than she ever has. So all the stuff that you see, from the formula that I use to, the 3 meals and what they look like, she's doing that. And she's almost 100% there. I'd say she's about 90% there. And so she's stepping in deeper. So this first celebration that we had with Michaela, it was a great celebration. She got great results, but she didn't go any further because she wasn't ready to take that next step. Well, now she is. So you have ebbs and flows. So I want you to think about Michaela's case study and really focus in. Everything that I taught you today, implement it. Go for it. Anytime you have one step back, you really need to be gentle on yourself, or you're going to tear yourself up and bring yourself deeper, and you're really going to go back to your original plan, which is not being very good to yourself. So if you really like the changes that Michaela has had and you really understand the ebbs and flows, I would definitely like you to be part of a system like this. Today, I don't have any specific program going on right now, but ask questions. If you're hearing this in replay, I'd love to hear from you. What are your struggles? What are you dealing with that maybe Michaela was dealing with that you're through? And we could talk about the programs I have if that's something that's important to you. Or just keep coming to the Tuesdays. All right, so let's celebrate. It's time to dance as we do every day. So if you are ready to unleash the power healing that you need to do that's dormant within you, I want you to follow the stuff we learned today. If you're ready to restore balance on all levels of your body, mind, and spirit, bring in the tools that I taught you today. This was the magical formula, the food formula right here. This is your first strategy. P plus 3V plus 1W plus B equals the food formula. Also, I want you to use this grid. I don't want you to jump into 35, 40 grams of fiber and really mess up your system. Taper it in. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Okay, so I really hope that you enjoyed everything that you learned and that you are really enjoying the information that you're getting. As time goes on, these videos are really going to turn into podcasts. So in end of June, I'm going to start doing podcasts with my friend Maria from Sweden, and she is a business coach for women. So we're going to be doing some really, really fun stuff. I hope you stay in and stay on board with me as we go through this journey. Enjoy the information, implement. Think about Michaela's story. Where are you? Are you on your second or third celebration? Use these tools to keep yourself moving forward. It was wonderful having you here with me. You have an insightful day, and I will catch up with you next week or sooner.